Okay, you
like,
said no one.
feeling-
You said no one cares, and you're like cringing on the side.
No, but like imagine. Okay, just stand there to whatever. Hey guys, so I'm.
Okay,
Oh,
anyways,
right now.
I'm gonna block out my sister right now because she's just like cringing in the background. Right now, I'm in the kitchen at home. The video is just gonna be about me talking to you about some of the grocery items that I always keep in my kitchen. Sometimes if I have snack around, I would just like keep thinking about those snacks and I have to like eat them. But like if all I have in my kitchen is like healthy items and healthy clean snacks, that just helps me like keep track of what I eat.
Missing someone.
Like at first when I saw this in the grocery aisle, like I thought it was like some really sketchy brand that I like never heard of, and the packaging is kind of weird, and it's also kept in the frozen aisle. So like at first like I was like really skeptical about this, but then I realized this is like one of the healthiest bread you can ever find ever like in your grocery stores. So basically this one is a bread that does not have any sugar in it, and all it has is like really whole grains. I can show you the nutrition content. As you can tell, one piece only has like 80 calories, which is like relatively low for a piece of bread. All the ingredients are super natural and super whole grain. And like for example, the first ingredient is organic sprouted wheat. A lot of breads are actually like marketed as healthy in grocery stores. Like there's probably a lot of bread that says like whole wheat bread or like healthy low fat carb bread and stuff like that, but they're not actually healthy. Like you really want to look for breads that don't have a lot of sugar, that has actual whole wheat flour and not like bleached flour or white flour, stuff like that. Another thing that's really good about frozen bread is that you can just keep it in your freezer for long periods of time. Like before, when I used to buy like regular loaves of bread, I always end up wasting them because expiration date will always come before I actually finish eating them. This brand, I have no idea how to pronounce it. Like I have no idea. Like I don't even know what language this is, but I'm gonna try like Ezekiel, and like I have no idea. But anyways, they also come in like different flavors. This one is flaxseed. They have like sesame or like original flavors. So yeah, just look out for these in the frozen bread aisle. They're usually kept in the fridge, like the freezers.
Missing someone.
These are like pretty basic. You probably already have it in your kitchen. Like it's basically just nut butters, and it can really be any kind of nuts. Like usually I always have peanut butter, and recently I've been getting into almond butter, and I found out that I also really like almond butter. I have heard that almond butters are like slightly more nutritional than peanut butters, but it really doesn't matter that much. One thing that I really want you to pay attention to is getting like natural, like no sugar added or nothing added, like nut butters. You really have to look into the ingredients. Like for example, this one I have only has peanuts. So it's only dry roasted peanuts. That's the only thing you should ever see in your nut butter. Just the nut itself, nothing else. A lot of the nut butters in grocery stores now have like a lot of added oils and a lot of added sugar, salt, and stuff like that. And it really just breaks the purpose of eating nut butters, because they're supposed to be like naturally healthy with like natural fats, and you don't want any added oils, and that kind of just defeats the purpose of eating nut butters. So I always keep these in my fridge because they're not only like a great like breakfast items, they're always really good for snacking. It can be green or red apples. I cut them into slices and I dip them in my nut butters. It's a really good dipping snack sauce. It's a really good dip for fruits, or it's also a really great breakfast item that you can spread on your toast. I'm actually super hungry right now, so this is a little snack break and a little behind the scenes. And credits to my sister who's filming right now.
Yep.
You want to show your face?
No.
Yeah, she's been holding this camera or phone up for quite a long time because I speak too much. So these are called sumo oranges. I just found out about these. I think it just says mandarin oranges. But anyways, I heard these are pretty good. I'm gonna give it a try.
missing someone.
It can be full fat or non-fat, it doesn't really matter that much. I know that like the common thing is to think that low fats are like better than full fat yogurts, but honestly the fat content in these yogurts are not gonna make that much of a difference. The reason why I always keep these in my fridge is because it really helps with my digestive system, because yogurts are loaded with a lot of probiotics and it just really helps with my gut health, because personally I have super weak digestive systems. Like I get bloated all the time. One thing to be really careful of is always buy the unsweetened kinds, because some of the sweetened yogurts can have a lot of sugar in them. And right now I have like two kinds. So one is Greek yogurt and the other is just like a normal kind of yogurt. I know a lot of people are kind of confused about what the differences are between Greek yogurt and normal yogurt. So basically the probiotics content is pretty much the same. The only difference is that Greek yogurt has much more proteins in them in a single serving than the normal yogurt. And this is because Greek yogurts are strained in a different way. That's why it's left with more proteins and it's also less liquidy. Just show you real quick. As you can see, it's not very liquidy. It's very concentrated. So that's why it has more proteins in them. And natural yogurt is a lot more liquidy. You probably can tell because it's almost finished, but it's like super like liquidy. Both are really good. And it's just like really good to always have in your fridge, because whenever you feel hungry or just want to snack on something, just always reach for yogurts, because they not only give you a lot of protein, but they also have a lot of probiotics, which can really help with your digestive systems and gut health.
Missing someone.
I just want to like mention one thing, which is like try to look for fruits that have relatively lower content in sugar and more vitamins. I know bananas are quite sweet, but they're still really good to have on hand, because like they're just really filling snack to always have. And if you have bananas in your kitchen, you're probably less likely to go for like unhealthy snacks. The second fruit that I really like that has really high content in vitamin C is kiwis. I look for kiwis that have the green flesh, because like the green ones have a lot more vitamins than the yellow ones, and they're actually a lot less sweet than the yellow ones. So yeah, kiwis are not that sweet. It's a little sour. I know it can be like too sour for some people, like my sister, but these are really high in vitamins, so try to get used to eating these. Next thing is blueberries. And I always keep these in my fridge because I always add it into my unsweetened yogurts. It just really adds a touch of sweetness to my yogurt. To be honest, like eating plain yogurt is sometimes super boring, and it just like really tastes like nothing, and I really just can't finish that much yogurt if I don't have any fruits in them. So I always like to put in some blueberries in my yogurt. And these are really great fruits to have because they are also relatively low in sugar, and yeah, it just keeps you hydrated as well. The bottom line is to find fruits that are relatively low in sugar and high in vitamins. One bad example for fruits to have is mandarin oranges. And I know these are super tasty and you can have them once in a while, but they can't really give you the full nutrition you typically are looking for in fruits. They're not that high in vitamins. They're mostly just like sugar. So if you can, like, try to like have a variety of fruits instead of just having like a super sugary fruit.
Missing someone.
I know these pre-washed spinach that comes in these containers are probably a little bit more costly than the bunched spinach, but I just think these are a really great item to keep in your fridge. It just makes having a healthy meal a lot easier, because sometimes we always like forget to eat veggies, or like especially green colored veggies, because we think it's too much work to wash and cut veggies, and you know, like the veggies that come in like a natural form, like a bunch, and you first have to wash them and you have to cut them, and it's just like a lot of work. So I always keep these pre-washed spinach on hand, because you know, for example, if I'm cooking eggs, I can just like throw in like a handful of spinach, and it just makes my meal a little bit more nutritional. So that's why I always keep these in my fridge.
Do you think it's worth it over the price of just
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's honestly not that much more expensive.
Missing someone.
Which one's your
There's
favorite?
nothing much that I can say about. I have like phases of like liking different nuts. Like sometimes I like almonds more, and sometimes I like cashews more. But yeah, I have to say like cashews or almonds are my top favorites.
You
And
have different faces.
for nuts, like actually, like you know how like
Split personality?
Some people have like phases for like different flavors of ice cream from like once in a while.
Yeah.
But I have like different faces for nuts. I'm just like super old inside.
Okay.
So. Nuts are really good snacks because they give you a lot of energy and it's really filling. So it's really a great option to have as a pre-workout snack if you don't want to like have a huge meal before you work out.
Missing someone.
Oh my god. Okay. I always have these in my fridge because I make sure to drink hot lemon water every single morning, because hot lemon waters in the morning is again really good for your digestive systems. As I mentioned before, I have really weak digestive systems and I have a lot of like gut problems. So drinking hot lemon water can really help with your digestions overall. I make sure to always stack these up in my fridge. I use them in a lot of my cooking because lemons is actually a really good seasoning. And especially if you don't season your foods with a lot of sodium and salt, I honestly like squeeze them on whatever I cook. Like it just really lightens up the dish a lot more. I just like cut them into wedges and keep it in like a plastic bag so that whenever I cook anything, I just like, you know, squeeze a couple drops of lemon. One thing that I always add lemon juice in is avocado toast. Whenever I'm like stir frying anything, I always like squeeze a couple drops of lemon and it just makes the dish a lot better.
Missing someone.
The reason why I have tofu in my fridge all the time is sometimes when you cook at home, it's hard to get all of the protein you need because handling any type of raw meat is sometimes quite like annoying. So sometimes I like to get my proteins in from tofu, and it's honestly just like a lot easier to cook and you don't have to worry about overcooking it or undercooking it. And it's really versatile as well. You can put it in a variety of dishes. Like a lot of different dishes can have tofu in them. It's just like a staple protein food to have in your fridge, especially also if you're a vegetarian or vegan.
Missing someone.
The first time I saw this in the grocery store, I thought it was like some type of milk or creamer. But yeah, these are actually egg whites in a milk carton. The reason why I like to get egg whites is because a lot of times I don't want to eat like 2 or 3 eggs, but I do still want to get the proteins in. Most of the calories of eggs come from the egg yolks. So, and also it can raises your cholesterol levels. A lot of times I just crack in like 1 egg and I just pour in some more egg whites to make sure I'm still getting in my proteins without having too much egg yolks. These are just like really convenient to have on hand, and it also helps you to not waste a lot of egg yolks by separating out the egg yolks from the egg whites.
Missing someone.
It's already getting super dark, so I'm really trying to get this over with before the sun sets. So the last thing I have is another snack that I always keep in my kitchen, and that is dark chocolates. I always have these on hand as a dessert item or a snack whenever I feel like having something sweet. This is like one brand that I always like to buy, and their 90% chocolate is really great. It's not that bitter. And honestly, once you get used to this taste, it's actually really nice and it really satisfies your sweet tooth. Every time after dinner, if I feel like eating dessert, I would just have like 2 pieces of this dark chocolate. And it honestly just satisfies all of my cravings for sweet stuff. If you can't really eat like super bitter and dark chocolate, I would recommend buying a chocolate bar that has no sugar added. And Lily's is a really great brand that I recently discovered. I always keep these in my pantry just in case I have sweet cravings. So if you're still watching, I just want to say thank you so much for sticking with me up till this point. And yeah, I really just hope you enjoyed the video. I know it can be a little boring, but I really hope you just got some, you know, inspirations from my video. I hope you guys can start a healthy lifestyle in 2020. If you like to see any other types of video, please comment down below. And if you like this video, please subscribe and like. Probably be doing a lot more videos on lifestyle and health and fitness and food in general, because I'm a huge foodie myself. Also, I'm filming it with an iPhone right now and the quality is probably really shitty, but it's okay. We can just work with what we have right now. I wish you luck, good luck for everything you're doing, and yeah, I'll see you next time. My sister grabbing Ben & Jerry's, and let me just show you like one really funny thing. So in our freezer, as you can tell, the differences. So we have Halo Top beside Ben & Jerry's. Extreme differences in our
If you
family.
don't eat Ben & Jerry, you can go die.